Hello, welcome along to the Met Office 10-day trend. A 10 days that takes us through a bank holiday, through what will be half-term for many schools, and into June and the start of meteorological summer. But for once at this time of year, we're not scrambling around desperately searching for some summer-like weather. We've already seen high temperatures and sunny skies, and the weather patterns are not shifting too much for the next week or so. So we'll continue to see some very warm weather. If anything, it could get hotter through the weekend, and for many of us, there'll be plenty of sunshine. But there's always one or two complications, and especially in the summer months when things get warm, that can trigger some thunderstorms. And that will be the biggest difficulty for weather forecasters for the next week or so, saying exactly where and exactly when we're going to see some torrential downpours. But for most places, as I say, much of the time the weather's set fair, all thanks to a big area of high pressure, which isn't moving very far. If we run through the next 5 days, you can see that high is, well, basically joined by another area of high pressure, but continues to dominate. It was this kind of weather pattern that set up through winter and early spring that created the beast from the east. Around high pressure, the winds come this way, so the easterly winds brought us, in the winter months, the cold and the snow. But now, of course, the land mass, the near continent, has really warmed up. So instead of snow, we're importing much warmer air. And temperatures are set to rise further into the weekend. Look at this warm air spreading its way northwards. How high could the temperatures go? Well, through this weekend, certainly getting into the mid-20s across the south, high 20s. 30 Celsius is possible this weekend, and across western Scotland too. Temperatures easily once more getting into the mid-20s at times. So yes, plenty of fine warm weather to come, but as I said at the start, that warmth does sometimes come at a cost. More warmth means more energy, and as humidity builds as well, that combination can spark thunderstorms. And we're going to start to see more of those over the next couple of days, certainly, particularly through Thursday across parts of the south. Some really bright colours here. Now, as always, they will be somewhat hit and miss, but there's the potential for some really big downpours. And with more cloud around, that will mean it's not as hot across the south on Thursday compared to Wednesday. Many parts of the UK, though, will see plenty of warm sunshine, especially west Scotland. But just like the last few days, again, that east coast will be plagued by mist, and that has a big impact on the temperatures here. Now, Friday also has the potential to see further heavy thundery showers, but there's a lot of uncertainty about exactly where. So I'm just going to show you this chart, which is the main 3 computer models and their suggestions for where we're going to see thunderstorms on Friday. You can see there's a big variation. This computer suggesting that the downpours will mostly be over northern England, southern Scotland. This one has them further south over the Midlands, parts of Wales, and this one is more widespread. So there's some uncertainty about where we'll see the downpours on Friday, but most of the computers agree there will be some somewhere, and they could be pretty intense. They could drop a lot of rain in a short space of time. So keep your eyes out for that for Friday. Beyond that, into the long weekend, we've already seen the pressure pattern, high pressure continuing to dominate, so continuing for the most part to bring fine weather around. And we've already seen those temperatures are set to rise, but we will have those easterly winds, and the North Sea, in fact the seas right around the UK, are still pretty cold. Haven't really recovered from that spring spell when the easterly winds meant it was really chilly. So yes, the sea temperatures are low, and with the breeze coming in from the North Sea, well, those eastern coasts will be cool. But this heat map also shows other coasts will be cooler as well, because we'll see sea breezes developing. So if temperatures of the mid to high 20s are too high for you, then the coast could be a good place to head. But be aware, there will, especially on the east coast, continue to be the risk of that mist and low cloud. Now, that mist and low cloud is notoriously fickle, so don't write your weekend off if you're going to the east coast, but just be aware it could at times be quite misty, and through the long weekend we will continue, especially across the south, to have the threat of thunderstorms. And with temperatures rising, that means there's more energy around. So the thunderstorms, although will continue to be very hit and miss, potentially could drop even more rain in a short space of time. So again, just watch this space. Keep up to date with the Met Office in case there are any warnings. Beyond the bank holiday weekend and the pressure patterns, well, again, not really shifting. So this is the most likely setup for most of next week. As I said at the start, half term for many schools, high pressure in control. So a lot of dry and fine weather, the winds continuing to come in from the near continent, bringing some warmth. But we'll continue to see the risk of thunderstorms being imported from low pressure systems across the continent. And we'll continue to see the fact that the coasts will be a little bit cooler as well. But that continued threat of thunderstorms throughout next week. But generally, we're also looking at plenty of fine and warm weather. Now, keep up to date, as I say, because things can change. We'll have big day-on-day variations, and that thunderstorm risk, that's the biggest headache for us forecasters. So if you do issue any warnings, they'll be on the Met Office website. And you can also download the Met Office app, because on there, there's a radar, and you can actually watch the thunderstorms developing yourself.